Okay, so hi guys, thanks a lot for clicking on this video. So tomorrow we'll be presenting some super interesting presentation, the four curriculum design principles. Instead of just reading about them, we thought it would be so cool to give you a little sneak peek today through this video. So here's the plan. Can you please move on to the next slide? Okay, this presentation is going to be delivered by the five of us. The first is me, Melvina, and then we have Maxwell, Clay, Matt, Pia, and also Maria. Okay, together we'll walk you through four major curriculum designs that are actually shaping education around the world. The first one will start with IB, Cambridge, followed with Montessori, and the last is Kumar or Independence curriculum. All right, before we dive in, make sure you have got a notebook ready. It's always nice to write down key points for tomorrow's discussion. So without any further ado, let's pass the mic to Max.
Hello guys. So today I'm gonna explain about International Baccalaureate or IB. Next please. What is the International Baccalaureate or IB? So it's basically a non-profit foundations that offers four educational programs to students aged to 3 to 19, aiming to develop critical thinking and academic ability. So IB missions is to aims to develop inquiring and knowledgeable and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect. Next, please. The structures and learning approach. So, IB is structured into four age-specific educational programs and features an inquiry-based learning approach grounded in pedagogical principles like conceptual understanding, global contexts, and teamwork. Next, please. The first is ADL, or approaches to learning skills. So there are five skills in here. The first is thinking skills, encourages critical thinking and problem solving. And the second is communication skills. So that focuses on effective and clear communications. And then social skills that foster collaboration and teamwork. And then there are also research skills that develops the ability to conduct research and gather information effectively. And the last is self-management skills that promotes personal organizations, time management, and effective skills. The IB approaches to learning skills, or ADL, are grounded in the beliefs that learning how to learn is fundamental to a student's life in and out of a school context. Next, please. IB program structures. So the IB offers a continuum of international educations through four programs, each targeting a different age group. So the first is primary years programming, or PYP, that focus on ages 3 until 12. So it focuses on the holistic developments of the child. And the second is middle years programming, or MYP. So it focuses on age 11 until 19. So it encourages students to become creative, critical thinking, and reflective individuals. The third is diploma programming, or DP, ages from 16 until 19. So it's a rigorous 2-year academic programs preparing students for higher educations. And the last is career-related programming, or CP. So it ages from 16 until 19. So it integrates academic educations with professional developments and practical skills. Next, please. IB learning approach and pedagogy. So there are 6 approaches. So the first is inquiry-based learnings, conceptual understandings, and then there's also local and global contexts, and also teamwork and collaborations, and then differentiated instructions, and the last is informed by assessment. Next, please. How the IB curriculum is applied in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, schools that offer the IB program must be officially authorized by the International Baccalaureate Organizations, or IBO. So the curriculums emphasizes inquiry-based learnings, meaning that students are encouraged to ask questions, research, and deeply. Explore topics deeply instead of just memorizing facts. And then IB schools in Indonesia usually offer one or more of the IB programs, like primary years programming or PYP for young learners, middle years programming or MYP for junior high school students, and diploma programming or DP for high school students that are preparing for university. Next, please. So there are 5 key features of school with the IB curriculum in Indonesia. The first is bilingual or English-based learnings. Second is student-centered learning, and the third is international mindedness. The fourth, focus on skills and not just knowledge, and the last is global recognitions. Next, please. The limitations of IB. Next. So IB have academic and curriculum limitations. For example, like intensive workload, rigid structure, and lack of specificity, and also student-related limitations that IB is not for everyone's, and then can cause high stress and burnout, and transition challenges. And also IB has cost and access limitations, for example, like financial costs and then school-dependent options. Next, please. Thank you very much. So next material will be explained by Miss Ira.
Okay, thank you, Axel. Now it's my turn to present about the Cambridge or Cambridge Assessment International Education, or CAIE. Established in 1858, Cambridge has a colonial history of civilizing colonized population through English medium education, instrumental in establishing British hegemony in the realm of knowledge production. The core philosophy, okay, first one is to provide educational benefit through provision of international programs and qualification for school education, and to be a world leader in this field. Second one is to develop the Cambridge learners who are confident, responsible, reflective, and innovative. Next. I will explain about the curriculum structure. First, Cambridge prescribed curricula and conducts examination for nearly 1 million students annually across primary and secondary levels. Specifically, literature syllabi for programs like IGCSE O-level, AS or A-level, and pre-U include the set text for study. Next. Okay, I think I will explain about the learning approach first. Mbak Tia, can you? Okay, thank you. So the learning approach, the highlight is a more traditional, teacher-directed content delivery model particularly given its role in standardized the examination and a Eurocentric literature syllabus. And next, after the learning approach, I will explain about the assessment and evaluation. The Cambridge curriculum measures students' achievement through exams, coursework, and grading. Next, what about the implementation? Okay, it operates mostly involve the private schools in the global south, and its curriculum has been implemented in more than 10,000 schools in more than 160 countries, including Indonesia. The Cambridge curriculum allows students to have the flexibility in its implementation according to their respective learning objective. Next. So what are the limitations of this curriculum? Okay, as you can see, we have almost 10 limitations, the implementation of Cambridge curriculum. The first one is colonial and patriarchal bias in the literature syllabi. Second one is the marginalization and internalized operation. Number 3 is the limited local applicability. Number 4, disempowerment of local teachers. 5, lack of transparency in syllabus selection. 6, narrow and instrumental rationality, especially about the thinking skills. 7, exclusion of moral and social justice dimension. 8, class-based exclusion in access. 9, commodification of thinking. And the last one, or number 10, is silencing diverse thinking forms. Thank you.
Okay. Now it's my turn to explain about Montessori education. So Montessori education is a well-known alternative teaching method created by Maria Montessori. It is the oldest and most widely used alternative education system in the world, based on her study of children and how they learned. Next, please. There are the main principles. First is child-centered development. Montessori believed that children naturally grow and develop with inner energy that guides them, and the goal is to support children's intellectual, physical, emotional, and social growth so they can reach their full potential. The second one, self-determination and motivation. Children learn best when they make choices and feel in control of their learning. So motivation comes from interest and curiosity, not from rewards or punishment. This helps children develop a love of learning that lasts a lifetime. Third, hands-on and real-life learning. Learning happens through doing and experiencing, not just listening. So children use the real objects and practical activities. And this makes learning more meaningful and easier to understand. Third, focus and self-control. Montessori classroom encourages deep concentration and careful work. Children develop self-control and organizational skills through activities that train their senses and movement. The next one, social learning with peers and teachers. Children often work with classmates, learning by watching, sharing, and helping each others. And teachers guide children with warmth and authority, help them feel safe and supported. The last one, orderly environment. Montessori classroom is organized and structured with materials arranged neatly and clearly. These orders help children feel calm and focus better, improving both academic and personal growth. Next, please. And there are the key elements of structure and learning approach of Montessori. The first one, prepared environment. So the classrooms are bright, filled with natural light, and often connected to the nature. And materials are colorful, hands-on, and arranged neatly. And each materials focus on one skill or idea that has a built-in way for children to check their own mistakes. and materials start simple and become more complex, so helping children move from concrete practice to abstract thinking. The next one, the Montessori teachers or guide. Teachers are trained in Montessori philosophy and how to present lesson, and they do not lecture the whole class. Instead, they observe children and show lesson to individuals or small groups when they are ready. And their main job is to connect the child and with the right material at the right time. The next one, multi-age classroom. Children are grouped in 3-year age bands, and older children help the younger ones, and the younger children help learn from older peers. The next one, uninterrupted work periods. So each day has long blocks of time where children choose their own activities so they can move freely, focus deeply, and follow their interests without interruption. The last one, low adult to child ratios. Ideally, there are few adults per classroom, like around 1 adult to 35 children. And this encourages independence, self-motivation, and learning from peers. I'm sorry, this is the last one, curriculum areas. So this includes practical life, like everyday activities like pouring, cleaning, or dressing. This builds coordination, independence, and focus. So the next, sensorial material, tools to sharpen senses and help children notice differences in size, shape, color, and texture. So curriculum areas also includes literacy. So children learn writing before reading. They practice pencil control, forming letters and phonics. While grammar is introduced step by step. For the mathematics, children start with physical objects to understand numbers and operations before moving to the abstract math. Next, please. Implementation in schools, especially in Indonesia. So I choose di Sekolah Kreasi Anak Bangsa in Bintaro, Tangerang. The school implements Montessori media across various preschool levels, pre-nursery, nursery, kindergarten 1, kindergarten 2. Pre-nursery use 100% Montessori with 15 media to introduce the basic concept like color and texture and to hone fine and gross motor skill. The nursery use 75% Montessori to help students understand and develop fundamental concepts such as colors, shapes, textures, and numbers. For K1 and K2, Montessori is utilized as scaffolding for learning. In K2, it also serves as assessment tool for creativity, logical thinking, and critical thinking. And the observations showed that 8 out of 10 preschoolers at this school were able to master independent and individual learning using the provided Montessori materials. Next, please. Now we jump to the limitation of the Montessori education. While Montessori education has many strengths, it also faces some important challenges and limitations. First, no trademark and many variations. So the word Montessori is not protected. So school may use the name without following the true method. Because of this, outcomes can differ widely between schools. And the second one, research challenges. There are few high-quality studies that are not many randomized control trials which are needed to prove clear cause and effect. And hard to identify what works. It's difficult to know which exact part of Montessori caused the benefits. And small and limited samples, so many studies use small groups or narrow population, making the result less generalizable. And different comparison groups. So the Montessori is often compared with various traditional programs which are not consistent. The third one, outcomes, measurement, and issues. So many studies use standardized tests that may not match Montessori's main goals, like creativity, independence, and social skills. This could underestimate its true impact. The fourth one, mixed or unclear result. It's not always clear whether longer time in Montessori makes benefits stronger. Few studies follow students into middle or high school, so long-term effects are less certain. The last one, bias and influence of studies. Some evidence suggests publication bias, so positive results are more likely to be published than negative ones. Okay, it's Mbak Tia turn to explain the next material. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the time. Now I will explain to you about Curriculum Merdeka or Independent Curriculum. It is Indonesia's newest national curriculum, launched in 2022 by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology. It is designed to create a more flexible, student-centered, and competency-based education system that develops both academic skills and character in line with the Profil Pelajar Pancasila. The core philosophy of Curriculum Merdeka, it is designed to transform education in Indonesia, enhance learning quality, and realize the Profil Pelajar Pancasila. The second, address the learning loss, prepare students for future challenge posed by technology and global change like AI and climate change. The third, to equip the student with essential life skills to be both Indonesian citizens and global citizens. The fourth, to tackle educational inequality and suboptimal learning processes and a lack of flexibility prevalent in previous curricula. The structure of Curriculum Merdeka, there are three parts. The first is intracurricular, the second co-curricular, and third extracurricular. The first, in intracurricular, we have capaian pembelajaran, or in the previous curriculum, we called them kompetensi dasar. It is the learning achievements or learning outcome that a student should achieve. And then second, there are PACE, A, B, C, D, E, F. For all of them, foundation PACE, it is in kindergarten grade, and then PACE A for grade 1 and 2 in elementary school, PACE B, grade 3 and 4, and then PACE C, grade 5 and 6, PACE D, grade 7 to 9 in junior high school, PACE E for grade 10 in senior high school, and then the last PACE F for grade 11 and 12 in senior high school. And then the third, intracurricular, reduce the content of the material. It is just focused on the essential one. And then there are some subjects that change the name, like PPKN, it changed into Pendidikan Pancasila. And then the last, in senior high school, it is flexible for the student to choose the choice of their needs subjects and replacing rigid tracking. The second is co-curricular. It is interdisciplinary, connecting the subject into the project for the student. For example, in subject math, art, and history, we combine the three subjects to design the traditional batik pattern. It can conduct a project and collaborative projects from 20 to 30% of annual learning hours on national or global issues to strengthen the character and competencies not tied to specific subject CP or learning achievements. And then the third one is extracurricular. It is some activities that designed to develop the students' talents or interests. It is mandatory and optional. The mandatory one is like a scout, and then the optional is like dancing class or English speaking club and coding and so on. And then how the learning process, the learning approach in Curriculum Merdeka. It is student-centered. It is prioritizing the differentiated learning. Teacher used many models or methods in teaching the student in this curriculum. And then the classroom is really flexible because the teacher conduct the learning to achieve the students' needs. And they use an active strategy too. Like inquiry-based learning, problem-based learning, project-based learning, and blended learning, or sometimes conducting a group discussion, something like that. And then the fourth, it is constructivist theory. As a teacher, we should be reflective practitioners using diverse methods and resources. The next, the assessment and evaluation in Curriculum Merdeka. It is integral part of the learning process. There are 3 kinds of assessment. The first is diagnostic. It is initial. It is conducted before the learning start to know the student's level of knowledge. And then the second is formative. It is conducted ongoing the process of learning to give feedback to the students. And then the third, summative, it is conducted in the end of the period of learning process to evaluate achievements in the learning outcome. And then the assessment and evaluation in Curriculum Merdeka focus on understanding student needs and fostering progress. Teachers should be reflective and collaborative to students and other parts at school. The implementation of Curriculum Merdeka, it is officially implemented in academic year 2024 to 2025. It's a learning process for all stakeholders, not just students and teachers. And many schools in Yogyakarta are implemented Curriculum Merdeka, like in my school, Canisius Kalasan Junior High School. And then the Kemendikbud-Ristek provides comprehensive support for the teachers and the students too. It's called Platform Merdeka Mengajar. The Curriculum Merdeka designed to address specific Indonesian challenges and historical context. There are also many limitations for the implementation of Curriculum Merdeka. The first, the gap between public understanding and available information. Public perceptions, not based on research result. There is also a lack of public understanding about its philosophical, sociological, and physic-pedagogical foundation. And some public questioning persists regarding to the clarity of the basic framework and structure of Curriculum Merdeka. And some teachers confused in implementation, like analyzing the characteristic and using the analysis as a basis for organizing the learning, and then they found challenge to effectively use diagnostic assessment results to implement differentiated learning. Next, the persistence of old paradigms and administrative burdens. Some teachers interpret new policy through their old way of thinking paradigm. And then there are teacher capacity and readiness. Some of the teachers are not ready yet to implement the Curriculum Merdeka because they are not understand what is this and how to conduct, how to understand the structure, the framework of Curriculum Merdeka, and lack of informatics ICT teachers at the junior high school level. And then the next is complexity of subject selection in senior high school, and then the transitional challenges from kindergarten to elementary school. Okay, I think that's all for my explanation in Curriculum Merdeka. Melvin, go on.
Yes. Thank you very much, Hans, for breaking down those four curriculum design principles so clearly. So, audience, friends, what do you think? Hopefully, you got some fresh insights from this video that will make tomorrow's class discussion even more exciting. And don't worry, if some parts still feel a little confusing and you feel a little bit overwhelmed, that's exactly what tomorrow's session for is for. We'll unpack everything together, compare the pros and cons, and maybe even see which curriculum could work best in our own context. Thank you so much for watching until this part, until the end of this video. Don't forget to bring your notes tomorrow. It's gonna be fun and critical discussion. See you in class. Bye bye.